With loads of business advice flooding the industry, it has never been harder to see the path to success. And you can't take action if you don't have clarity. Get clear on the actionable tips and strategies that will help to scale your business here on Masters in Clarity, the podcast that brings you clarity around messaging, business growth, digital marketing, personal development, and the business owner's journey to success. Let's join our guide, the master of turning clarity into action and lasting impact, Dolores Hirschmann.
I have been looking forward to this conversation for weeks now, and I am so excited to bring to you DeAnna Rogers. So DeAnna is a mother of 3 adult boys. She's Mimi to a beautiful granddaughter that I actually got to meet a few weeks ago. And she's really proud to be in the event space for the past 13 years. She currently helps run events from small to large and has been very blessed to work with some of the smartest people in the industry. And here's what I want to ask DeAnna in our conversation that we're about to have. You know, she has been the brains behind the coordination of traffic and conversion, which is one of the top marketing events in the country and maybe even in the world. You know, she and Roland Fraser, who run Epic, you know, Roland is running Epic, which is a program that is now launching on a monthly basis and helps people how to buy businesses, right? Buy small businesses. And I know she has coordinated all of the event management and the challenges and all of the nuances of running these events for Roland. So I can't wait to ask DeAnna about what does events look like in 2021. What has she done in the last 20 years, in the last year, in 2020, not 20 years? What are some lessons and insights that she can share with us as we all navigate, you know, the post-COVID or through COVID world? So get ready for an amazing conversation. I can't wait to see what we learn in this Insights with DeAnna Rogers. Welcome to another conversation with, I think I have a streak of very powerful women lately. I may have to get in some men, but I am so excited to welcome DeAnna Rogers, who's a mother of 3 wonderful boys, Mimi to a beautiful granddaughter, and really proud to be in the event space for the past 13 years. She currently helps run events from small to large, and I've been part of some of your events, and they're beautifully done, and has been very blessed to work with some of the smartest people in the industry. Welcome, DeAnna.
Awesome. Thank you for having me, Dolores. Glad to be here.
I am so excited about this conversation, but let's get started with what does it coming to here meant for you? Tell us a little bit about your journey to the work you're doing today, to the fun you're having today, because I know you're having a lot of fun.
I am. I've been very blessed to be in this industry. I started almost 15 years ago in the event space, in the real estate space. And we were doing smaller real estate events in the Austin and Vegas area. And I got to meet quite a few different people that showed up in our lives, people like Roland Fraser. And then I started my own company called Affiliate Mastermind Group, AMG. And we taught event planners how to run events, how to get out there, how to create their own event, how to do joint ventures, how to market yourself. And then I had Roland and at the time his business partner Perry Belcher come and speak on my stage and be a part of my mastermind, as far as they were speakers at my mastermind. And it's been great ever since then. And then about almost 9 years ago, they brought me in to just run their event side of the business. And so been very blessed about that. Met some incredible people along the way. Been excited to be a part of a community that started with Traffic and Conversion Summit, which had when I jumped in, it was about 1,200, I guess, people was about that. And now we're hoping this year to about 10,000. So to grow that and to be able to be just a little integral part of that has just been an amazing journey.
So let's jump right in there because we're talking and it's May 2021. And some people feel that the speaking space got, froze in place in March 2020 and nothing's happened. But you and I know that actually a lot has happened in the event space. So let's talk about that. How has 2020, early 2021 been for the event space?
Well, I actually disagree. I actually feel like it has allowed speakers to have a bigger opportunity to be in front of audiences, and I think it's just how you focus and how you frame it, right? So, whereas before you had to go to a physical live event to get on that stage to be a speaker, and now you've got so many people that are doing virtual and hybrid stages, and they're looking for speakers, and there's just a plethora of them out there. I mean, it's incredible the amount of events out there now. And again, they're not all physical; they're virtual and hybrid.
Most of them.
But yeah, and you now have so many more stages that you have the opportunity to be on. So I actually have seen a huge opportunity grow in the last 16 months.
And personally, as a speaker, I don't know, is it Tuesday today? I think this is my third speaking engagement, and the week started yesterday. Like, actually, this is my third today. So, it probably the same for you, right? Like, you just cook dinner, be on a stage, come back, work with a client, and it's just more embedded in our day, this kind of visibility. So for you and the company you work with and the work that you do, you guys created a new kind of speaking event this year. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so we did, and the interesting part of that was we were doing about 32 live events a year, and we were traveling around and doing events about every other week out there. And we had this one particular program. It was called Leverage, Exit, Grow, and Scale. And it was how to go out and acquire companies and grow them and scale them. And we were doing these little tiny events everywhere in like Vegas, San Diego.
And we meaning
Roland Frazier.
And you,
so,
yeah.
Yes. So we were just traveling around doing these events. And like I said, there were all over the place. And then, COVID happened. And interesting enough, it actually became the opportunity for people to really understand what we were teaching, because at any time now with COVID happening, it was the time to start acquiring businesses and ethically jumping in and being able to help support and grow other businesses. And so we're like, well, this is so important now, but we can't necessarily meet in physical, spaces and do this. So let's teach it on a virtual level. And at the time, there was a couple people doing it. We actually consulted with several of those people and figured out how's that best way to roll that model out. And we started in April of last year. And
I was first cohort.
Yeah, you were. I remember. And so, we're on 13 right now. We've had 13 cohorts. And basically, we've just created a challenge. We call them a challenge. And it's a social media launch, basically, that once a month is out there. And we use, Facebook and different other social platforms to promote it. And we teach the class online. And we have found that we are reaching a larger audience. We've been able to impact more people, and we've been able to grow the business. And something that we never would have thought at that time, but we were like, we can't stop. This is the time to teach this. This is the time when it needs to be taught. And so it was just changing how we saw things. And it's just been such a blessing. We've all grown, we've all learned, and we're helping other people go out there and acquire businesses and ethically change lives. So it's been fun.
And I love it because when I joined, what attracted me to it, and then, there's so much we can do and commit to, but I loved being part of it because the premise was, okay, we are in a world where things are shutting down. And the program was designed, okay, how can we help businesses stay in operation and maybe, have the business owner still run the business, but you acquire and you take out the fear and kind of the financial troubles, but keep the employees and keep it moving forward. So I know you guys have grown. I know you've made a lot of money, but more importantly, as you've said it, you've changed a lot of lives. And I wonder if you're quantifying that or getting some of the stories around the peoples whose families are still eating because you guys taught us something that, to do that.
Well, and I think it's exciting. We are trying to put together a book of all the different people that are doing the deals so that we can kind of see the impact that it's had this past year. So that is something that we are in the works working on right now. But it has been fun to be able to get those testimonials from people where they've been able to go into like a little mom and pop and be able to maybe come in at, and get half of that business and grow it and keep that business from folding, and just be able to see the impact of how coming in and helping keep those doors open when things could have just gone the other way. And so that's been very rewarding, very fun to see. And it's been fun to learn because we've learned so many things along the way, things that you don't necessarily can write in a book, but you learn as you deal with them. And so it's been quite a journey.
So let's go back to you about, because you're in so many places right now. I see you like everywhere. Like everybody laughs and, talks about you in such a kind way. And in some ways, you're one of those role models to me because you're able to be known and connected with so many people. But at the same time, you're always making space for people. Like right now, giving us some time for this conversation. How do you keep your identity of a kind and caring and connected person when you're pulled in so many directions?
I think it's just keeping yourself grounded. I wake up every day and I just think of what do I want to accomplish today and how can I make an impact on other people? And that's rewarding for me. I just got off of a call with some of our alumni members, and that reminds me of why we do this. That reminds me why we've created this program and why continuing this business is so important. And so just staying grounded, staying rooted is really, really important. I truly value my family. That's so important to me, my children, my granddaughter. And so like that's important. So I wake up every day just, knowing that how can I make a difference? I always say, I have a little sticky note actually upstairs in my office, but it says, who can I make a difference in someone's life today? Who's that person? So I always try to end the day with who could I have done something different for today? Whether it could be something super simple. Maybe it was I changed something for my child, or I had a call with someone yesterday that was really, really depressed about their deal not going through. And I was just able to just talk. I didn't do much, but other than talk and listen. And I was hoping that made a difference. And then I got a text later that said, that was so great. Thanks for, giving me an hour. And I was like, okay, well, I did that today. I accomplished what I wanted to do. And so, I don't take that lightly. I really, really want to make a difference. And that's rewarding for me to be able to say that I can help make a difference in some small way, whether it's just talking on the phone or whether it's getting on a podcast or whatever that may be. That's important. And that's the legacy that I want to leave. And obviously, grow our companies and my husband and I have our own portfolio of companies that we acquire as well. And just those things, those are very important. I want to leave a legacy. And so but it starts every single day of that brick, right? You can't build a house that's doing each little brick every day. So it's like, what brick am I going to do today?
Yeah, and I love what you're sharing because, at Masters in Clarity, we help people master their own clarity, right? And a lot of people feel that clarity comes from the outside in. But what you're saying, it's anchor in your values, in what is important to you, in your intention, right? What are you going to leave behind? And then as we navigate through the day, is that we're either honoring that or we're not. And when we're not is when things fall apart, when we are struggling with decision making, where things feel kind of yicky and off, is because we're not aligned with what we're called to do, what we're supposed to do here.
Yeah. And, I think I was given the blessing of life in 2005. And so in 2005, I was diagnosed with, I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And I was given a couple of months to live. Oh. And, not a lot of people know that. So I'm kind of sharing something really raw, but so I learned from that, and I was very blessed with this doctor with Texas Oncology that I went in there that first day and, I'm bawling and poor woe is me kind of thing. And the doctor was just like, you can't be my patient if you're going to cry. You need to get over it. And I just remember leaving that day going, you've got horrible, mannerisms, I was just like, you're a horrible doctor. and so I was just so upset. And then I went home and I thought about it and I'm like, it's all in the attitude, right? It's all in how you see things. And so I went back the next day and I'm like, I'll never cry again. I swear I will never cry again, but I need you to be my doctor. And so from that point, it was all about control. I was going to control whether the outcome was good or bad. I didn't know. But at the time I had small babies still. My kids were still in middle school. Like my kids are adults now. I have a 29, 20, He's 26 and then 24 right now. So my boys are older, but at the time they were younger. They were in middle school, and I wanted to be able to watch them grow. And
Ah,
I wasn't
I
ready
get
to
chills.
no, and I just wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to go yet. And so I was like, I'm a fighter. I know I can fight this. I know, and I won't cry. I promise. And so I remember just walking into that doctor and I'm just saying, all right, I'm ready. I'm going to control this and I'm going to fight this. And 5 years later, and I mean, here's the best part. I had never had a bad hair day for 5 years, because I'll tell you, with wigs, you never have a bad hair day ever, right? Like you can just pick what hair you. I had a walk-in closet, and I picked my hair every day. I always had a great hair day, and so and it was just how I thought. You had to think of things that way, right? And 5 years later, I was cancer free, and I'm here today to be able to raise my children and my granddaughter. And I've always been very thankful and very blessed that I had that opportunity. But again, it was a mindset. Whether or not it had ended bad or good, it was my mindset. I had to change it from that day. I knew that I was given something very special, and I wasn't going to take that for granted. And so I've taken that kind of in my business, in that every single day is such a blessing, and I'm not going to like let that be wasted. And so whether it's good or bad on the outcome of what this business decision is, I'm not going to let this day be wasted. And so I think, I always tell people, I've had people that are like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, gosh, don't be sorry for me, man. Having cancer was the best thing that ever happened to me, because it just changed my mindset. Nothing scares me. Nothing gets me really upset anymore, because I'm here, right? I have my children, I have my family, I have a granddaughter I would have never seen. Like nothing, like, so those are just, that was just, it was another stone that was thrown in my path that made that pathway, right? And you had to have all those stones to make that path. So that was just one more thing that was put in my way. And I just consider that a blessing. And so I always tell people, when things like that happen, you just got to consider, how can that become a blessing? And so like when COVID hit this, it was the same thing. It's like, how do we turn this into a blessing? How do we grow with this and just accept it and just make it better? And so I just encourage anyone that's kind of going through something, if it's, just look at it, just change your mindset. Like, just how can you make that a blessing? It could really be crappy or bad or whatever, but how do you change that? And so I always say, yes, I had cancer, but I had 5 years of the most amazing hair days ever.
Yeah, I love what you're sharing, Diana, because it really, I mean, I think we have shared this belief is we're in this world to play big, to have fun, and that's kind of the only thing that can stop it is our end. Anything else is just another experience put in front of us. And I mean, I share that because I had a pancreatic tumor when I was 20, and I was told you're done. And so again, nothing scares me. Like whatever I do is like, it's almost like it's not that you don't take things seriously, because you do, but you don't take things seriously in the way of the dramatic way that most people will look at things in the world. It's just another opportunity for how can I be creative? How can I grow? And how can I overcome this challenge? And it almost becomes like a game to me, at least. It's like, okay, how can I grow bigger from this moment?
Well, I think
And
I think you nailed it, right, Dolores? It's how you see the opportunity, and how you can change. You may not be able to change the total outcome, but you can change how you perceive it and how you handle that outcome, right?
yeah, I love that. So what do you have looking forward in the next 12 months? What's coming on you? And you talked about a book. What else?
Well, my husband and I have been acquiring some businesses of our own. We've been we're doing Airbnbs right now. So we've been buying houses on the beach and flipping them into Airbnbs. So that's been one side project. We're also about to buy, it's a little park that's restaurants and bars. And we're about to get some equity and be an investor in one of those side projects. So we are dabbling in a couple of different businesses ourselves, and just trying to create some multiple revenues for our children to be able to have an empire someday when we're no longer here. So it's been, I mean, honestly, like the next 12 months, someone said the other day about, it's a year's off. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've already got the next 12 months planned. Like, I know, like, it's so busy.
It's go, go, go.
It's go, go.
So where can people connect with you? What's the best way to reach out to you?
They can find me on Facebook. They can find me on LinkedIn. I mean, I'm happy to help. Like, the thing about it is online challenges and events and, coaching programs. Those are kind of, in my wheelhouse. It's what I love. It's my specialty. And so if anyone wants to chat with me, or if you just want to talk about wigs or whatever, I'll talk about anything. I'm a chatty box. So, but you can find me on Facebook, on LinkedIn, anywhere. I love connecting with people. I think it's the best gift we have is to be able to connect and support one another.
Awesome. So go check out DeAnna Rogers. I mean, she's like a powerhouse. And thank you, DeAnna, for sharing some time with us today and having a conversation.
Well, thanks for having me, Dolores. I appreciate it.
I just had the best time with DeAnna. First of all, give it to her. She's a mom of 3 kids, beautiful grandmother of, a 6-year-old granddaughter. And she's just so full of energy, so full of beauty and creativity. And I love how we talked about, yes, we talked about work and we talked about how the event space is changing, but we also talked about her journey as a mom and overcoming cancer and the power of people and relationships and how, she was blessed with people that supported her and how she's so happy that every day is a gift for her. And so it was an amazing, very kind of warm conversation around having and doing great opportunities and doing great work, while at the same time honoring our own personal journey, honoring the relationships with people that we have, and honoring, the experience that we collect throughout the years. One of the things we talked about a little bit was, what she's doing with Roland Frasier these days as coordinating the challenges that are run every single month, teaching Roland's course, Epic, where he gets to teach people how to buy businesses. So go ahead, take notes, listen to this conversation with DeAnna Rogers is one that you should not miss. And one of the things that, when we do this at Masters in Clarity and in my work, is go deep into people's stories and create and extract the lessons from it. Clarity is at the core of what I believe and what I do, and clarity without action is almost like a waste of time. So I love that DeAnna brings to our conversation, a lot of clarity around what's happening, but also shares a lot of the action that she's taken to, make an impact. And I know that just with the work she's been doing with Roland in the last 18 months, they've been able to help small companies being acquired and keep on running even through difficult times like the COVID pandemic. So listen up. And I would love to hear what your ahas were. Share it in the platforms where you saw this episode being posted. Just share with us what you got as an insight for yourself and your business.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Masters in Clarity. If you loved today's show, please subscribe to our podcast and leave us a review. Share this episode with 2 people in your world, and as a gift, go to mastersinclarity.com/free to download free Clarity resources. Join your host, Dolores Hirschmann, next time to continue forging a clear path to your impactful success.